A group of recruits was gathered, facing a delicate situation. They were very apprehensive about the situation, and while trying to hide their bodies so that the men could not look at them, an officer arrives. He says one of them was pregnant, but they still hadn't figured out who she was. The sergeant leading the operation determined that they would use a bra to identify the pregnant woman, as women's breasts enlarge during pregnancy. He made it clear that he would not tolerate such a situation in the institution. He says that the situation would be resolved that day and that no one would leave until it was resolved. "Recruit Mayara, try on your bra," the sergeant ordered. Mayara soon obeys her superior's orders and puts on her bra, but soon the sergeant realizes it wasn't her and states, "No, it's not you." Susana Silva was then summoned. "Susana Silva, try on your bra," he said. He hands the bra to the other woman and tells her to try on the bra. He then continues to observe her, but once again, the test was negative. He then asks the woman to hand the bra back to him and says he will move on to the next one. The tension grew when it was Luana Morera's turn. "Now it's your turn, Luana Morera. Put on your bra. Go, hurry," the sergeant pressed. Luana hesitated, muttering, "It's taking a long time because," but was interrupted by the sergeant, "Do you want a little help?" After a while, it became apparent that it wasn't Luana. "No, it's not you," the sergeant said, and Luana was able to take off her bra, visibly relieved. But the tension was still palpable, and the recruits knew that the situation was far from resolved. Luana then removes the bra she was wearing and throws it on the floor, causing the sergeant to be furious with that situation. He then tells his superior that he now had suspicions about one of the women and says he knew who it was that was pregnant. The superior says that he was sure of that too and asks the other women to leave. When they leave, he asks the woman if she was the one who was pregnant, but she insists that she was not pregnant. The situation became even more tense when Anna was summoned to testify. "Recruit Anna, get ready in the room. The others can feel the water. Go, confess," the sergeant ordered. Anna vehemently denied being pregnant. "No, it's not me. I swear. I'm not pregnant." He told her she would need to audition, or she would be expelled, but she asked him not to do that and said he wasn't lying. She says her dream has always been to be in that organization, but the soldier says she should have thought about it before she got pregnant. The woman then says that she would do anything to stay there. The soldier then asks the commander if they could do that, and the commander says he had his approval. The soldier then tells the woman that if she wanted to stay there, she would have to please the two of them. She asks what they're talking about and they say she knew what they were talking about and that if she wanted to stay there, she'd have to do it. She asks them not to do that, but they go up to her and start removing her clothes. She starts screaming desperately, asking for help, but no one shows up. She then decides to do something about it and starts thrashing around and manages to free herself from the man's grasp. She manages to get away from there and the general asks the soldier to run after her. The next day, two women were exercising. The general was telling them to continue exercising and that he now wanted them to do some squats. They then start doing the squats and the general tells them that they were taking too long to do what they were supposed to. Hurry. At that moment, the soldier enters the room and tells the general that he needs to talk to him. He asks about what was going on and the soldier says that the new colonel of that squadron. He talks to the general. The general then asks who that person was and says he didn't understand what was going on. He asks the soldier to come in to further explain what was going on. A soldier tells the general that the new colonel of that squadron was looking for him, that he seemed to be very angry, but the general says that nothing wrong would happen to them, because the soldier had not told anyone about what was going on there. He then tells him to leave, as he wanted to go back to observing the women's exercise. The soldier says he was very worried about it, but the general said it wouldn't go wrong. Sometime later, they go to the new colonel's office and ask if they were called there. Then, it is revealed that the new colonel was actually a woman. They were very surprised to see that the new colonel was a woman, but she said that the fact that she was a woman would not stop her from ending the allegations she had received about that platoon. The general asked her what complaints she had received, but she said she could not speak. She says all she could say was that she would not let the culprits go unpunished. The general told her she could count on them for what she needed. She said she would appreciate help and says they could leave. A few days later, the colonel calls one of the women to her office so she can talk to her about what had happened. "Look, Cadet Lana. Look, I know it's very difficult what you've been through, but I need you to tell me everything that happened," she said, seeking the truth behind the allegations. The woman began to tell the colonel what had happened and said that the general and the soldier had made them remove their bras so he could see their breasts. This makes the colonel very furious, and she said she didn't understand what was happening. The woman says that their excuse was that pregnant women got bigger breasts and that is why they wanted to listen to their breasts. The colonel then asks what happened after that, and the woman reveals that they tried to do bad things to her, but she managed to escape before something bad happened. The colonel then asks the woman if she was willing to testify about what had happened to her. The woman says she was willing to do whatever it took to get them to pay for what they had done to them. The colonel thanks the woman for her help, saying that now they had a plan. The next day, the general and the soldier went to the women. The general said that they were not yet done settling the matter of the pregnancy and says that he wanted whoever was pregnant to tell the truth at that time. They say they weren't pregnant, and then the general says they're going to have to settle the matter in the worst way possible for them. He then grabs the bra again before they can quickly remove their clothes so they can see if that bra fit them. They then begin to remove their clothes, but at that moment the colonel arrives and tells them to stop. The general is surprised by that question what she was doing there, but the colonel says that she was there because they were in big trouble. The general says that he didn't know what she was talking about and that he had nothing to do with being discovered, but at this point the colonel tells the woman to come in. She then said that they should cast it, praying that she can sort it out. When they leave, the general says that the colonel could not believe that woman, because she was about to be expelled after having made up many lies about the people in that platoon. She then says that if that was true, she wanted to know whose bra it was. They are then surprised by this, and the colonel says that they were an embarrassment to the corporation. She says that she herself would make sure that they paid for what they had done. The general then says that they could talk about what they could come to an agreement with, but the colonel says that she would not make any agreement with them. He then says that they should think about it, because if people knew about it, it would be very bad for the corporation. The soldier says that this would be very bad for the colonel as well, but she said that she didn't care about that, because she wouldn't be there for long. This leaves them very confused, not knowing what was going on. Sometime later, they were under arrest and the soldier asked the general what they were going to do. At that moment, the colonel arrives and asks if they were okay. The general said he was glad she was there, because he needed to talk to her very seriously. She then says that they didn't need to talk about anything as what they had said was true. She says that if anyone knew what had happened there, things would get very bad for the corporation and that, for that reason, they would be stuck there. She then walks away and tells them to enjoy the place. The general then yells at her to come back, but she doesn't.